If your company is using AI in any capacity, then the EU AI Act isn't just some new regulation on the horizon. It's here, and it's changing how you need to operate. And getting this wrong can have some pretty serious consequences. So in this explainer, we're going to skip all the dense legal jargon and give you a straight-up, manager-focused guide to getting your organization compliant.
And let's just be crystal clear about the stakes right from the get-go. As a security or compliance leader, this is the number you need to burn into your brain. Non-compliance can mean fines of up to 35 million euros, or, get this, 7% of your global annual turnover, whichever one is higher. We're not talking about a slap on the wrist here. This is a major business risk that lands squarely in your court. Okay, so with that in mind, here's our game plan. First, we'll cover why this is so urgent right now. Then we'll break down the heart of the act, its risk-based system. We'll dive into the specific rules for high-risk AI, clarify who's on the hook for what, and then wrap up with a concrete action plan you can start working on today. So first up, let's talk urgency. The EU AI Act isn't some far-off proposal that's years away. It's law. Key parts of it are already coming into effect. And here's the bit that catches so many companies outside the EU by surprise. It's extraterritorial reach. It really doesn't matter if you're based in New York, Toronto, or anywhere else. If your AI system's output is used inside the EU, guess what? You fall under its rules, period. This is a really great way to get your head around the philosophy of the act. It's not trying to outlaw AI or kill innovation, not at all. It's all about risk management. So think of it like building a new highway. The goal isn't to slow everyone down to a crawl, but to put up really strong guardrails on those dangerous cliffside turns. And those turns? Well, those are your high-risk AI applications. The rest of the traffic can just keep flowing safely.
So how do you figure out where those guardrails need to go? Well, the entire act is built on this really core concept, a four-tiered risk system. This is the absolute central organizing principle. For you, figuring out how to classify your AI tools is the most critical first step you can take. And listen, if you take one thing away from this whole explainer, make it this. The risk level has nothing to do with the underlying tech. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a super complex LLM or a simple algorithm. It is all about the use case. What is the AI system actually doing, and what's its potential impact on real people? That is the only question that matters. Okay, let's just quickly walk through these four tiers. The vast majority of AI, think your email spam filter, falls into minimal risk. Basically, no mandatory rules there. A step up from that is limited risk, like a customer service chatbot. Here, the main rule is just transparency. You have to tell people they're interacting with an AI. Simple enough. Then we get to the big one, high risk. This is your credit scoring, your hiring tools, medical diagnostics. This category, well, it faces a mountain of compliance work. And finally, some things like government-run social scoring are just flat out prohibited, totally banned. This brings me to a really crucial piece of strategic advice. If you're looking at an AI tool and you're on the fence, is it limited risk or is it high risk? The safest play is to classify it up. Just treat it as high risk from the start. Why? Because the cost of doing a little extra prep work is tiny compared to the massive financial pain of facing retroactive penalties because you got it wrong. So with that, let's dive a little deeper into that high-risk category. Because honestly, for most companies, this is where the real work, the lion's share of the compliance effort, is going to be. For any system you classify as high risk, this list right here basically becomes your to-do list. You'll need a formal risk management system, strong data governance to hunt for bias. You'll also need extensive technical documentation and automatic logging, which really just means you need to be able to prove how it works and what it's done. And finally, you've got to have safeguards for the user, clear transparency, a system for meaningful human oversight, and of course, robust cybersecurity. I really love this quote because it reframes the whole point of all that paperwork. Don't think of documentation as just another boring compliance chore. Think of it as your legal shield. Because if your AI's decision is ever challenged, let's say in a hiring context, your ability to pull up detailed records of your risk assessments and your testing, that's what proves you acted diligently. That's what protects you. Okay, let's tackle a really critical distinction that a lot of people seem to miss. The Act actually splits the responsibilities between the company that builds the AI, they're called the provider, and the company that uses it, the deployer. And this is so key. Just buying a compliant tool off the shelf does not automatically make you compliant. So here's how that shared liability actually breaks down. The provider, the developer, their job is to build the system to meet all the technical rules and give you the documentation. But the deployer, and that's you, the end user,
You're responsible for everything that happens once it's running in your world. You have to put the human oversight in place, you have to monitor its performance, and you have to keep your own logs. You absolutely cannot just set it and forget it. You share that risk. And this timeline is exactly what makes all of this so urgent. The ban on prohibited AI practices, that kicks in by early 2025. Then the rules for general-purpose models like GPT follow a year after that, and the really extensive requirements for high-risk systems become fully enforceable in mid-2026. This isn't some 5-year plan you can put off. The clock is definitely ticking. So, with that sense of urgency, let's pivot from understanding the law to taking real action. What can you do? Here is a 5-step plan you can literally start working on this week. All right, here are your first 5 moves. Number 1, an AI inventory. You've got to document every single AI system you're using, especially that shadow AI that different departments might be using without anyone knowing. 2, a prohibited audit. Check that inventory against the banned list. 3, risk classification. Go through that list and assign every system to one of the 4 risk tiers. 4, governance. Assign a specific person or team to own this. It can't be an orphan project. And 5, literacy. Start training your people on what their new obligations are under this act. You know, when you boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple truth. You cannot manage, govern, or secure what you don't even know you have. So before you start worrying about risk tiers or data governance, the entire journey to compliance really begins with one fundamental question you have to be able to answer. Do you have a complete inventory of every single AI system running in your organization right now?